Morning everybody, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. By now I'm pretty sure you guys have checked out the vendor and model coverage from the mega show over the weekend. And as you recall, this is a different type of show that I've ever attended, and I've been doing them since 1986, but this is a totally different format with a scoring evaluation system that I've never been to a show like this. So I was very excited about checking it out and reporting back to you guys. So I want to share with you a couple of thoughts and impressions on that. I've got to share with you a cool car that my brother Henry Robbs found in the parking lot that is really cool. We'll do that up front. Then I want to give you my thoughts on the host club, overall format, vendors, all of that stuff. Just a quick kind of scan over that. And then I want to kind of delve into this, the judging and scoring a little more in depth, because it's different for sure, but I want to give you my impressions on that too. So, with that being said, let's get over to it. Just as Amanda and I were getting into Columbia, my phone rang, and it was Henry Robbs of Mid-Century Model Works. And if you're not familiar, I'm going to give him a plug real quick. If you're not familiar with Henry's channel, Mid-Century Model Works, Henry Robbs, head over, check it out, and check out some of his videos. Great stuff over there, great guy. And give him a sub and a thumbs up, and again, check out some of them. Anyway, Henry said, hey, when you get here, if you turn into the first parking lot there, check out that silver and blue Thunderbird. And I said, okay, we'll do. Well, the first entrance slipped up on me, and as I was going by it, I looked and I saw the Thunderbird he was talking about, and I went to the next entrance, and I decided, well, I'll go in and set up real quick, then I'll walk out there and take some pictures. Well, sadly, by the time I got set up, I walked out to the parking lot and the car was already gone. Thank goodness Henry had taken some pictures and a video. So I want to share that with you. Check this out. A modern Thunderbird with a 48 Ford tail section. Is that not cool? And you have the bullet tail lights on it too. And I'm not sure, guys. I want to say this might be a kit because I want to say I've seen a picture or something. It might have been this same car. I don't know. But this was just cool. And check this out up front. Has a 49 Mercury front end on it. Is that not cool? But really, really cool. And Henry, if he can get the video loaded, you'll probably be seeing that too. But that was kind of nifty. But okay, now getting back to the show, when Amanda and I walked in, we were greeted right up front. And let me back up here a second. When we walked in, there's an old adage from that great sales trainer, Zig Ziglar, that used to say, enthusiasm sells, happiness attracts. Well, let me tell you something, guys. When we walked in, and by the way, the host club is the Central South Carolina Wildcats. So hats off to them for hosting this. But when we walked in, we were greeted with smiles, enthusiasm. And already I was just tickled to be there. They were very helpful. It was just a great experience from the first encounter right up front. And they instructed us where to go after we got checked in, which only took a minute. They really had their act together. Told us when we got to the door, they'd check our wristbands and there'd be somebody there to help us find our place. You know, a lot of times when you go to these shows, when you get into the contest room, you have to look for the little placards on the table. Nothing wrong with that. I've done it for years. And find where your models go. Well, when we walked in, there were, of the 3 pieces of paper, which by the way was all done online. I typed it all in, printed it off, handed them my paperwork, boom. And it was very simple paperwork, even if I had to sit down and fill it out. Very self-explanatory. And handed the person at the door the paperwork that they needed, the 2 sheets there. And one of the sheets went with the display. and I was greeted there at the door, and they were very enthusiastic. And again, we weren't the first ones there either. It wasn't like, hey, you're the first, all that stuff, because we were a little later getting there. And escorted us to the location where our space was. So there wasn't any confusion or anything like that. Oh, yeah, you're right over here. And again, it was great. I went out with 2 stash things to the car and went out to get Amanda water out of the car once. And every time I left, oh, you're coming back, right? But everybody was smiling and happy, and it was just a really impressive group of people. Because, like I said, happiness attracts, and enthusiasm is infectious. And they were all infected with it. So it was a good group of guys. And I appreciate that. I really do. Now, the vendors were set up to the left of the contest area, and they were very well organized. If you remember in the video, the aisles were nice and wide. They had a full variety. They had gaming stuff there. They had lots of resin, military, auto, ships, a huge variety of stuff. And this was I like it when it's like that. I mean, I'm primarily a car guy, but most of you guys know that I've been known to build a tank or two. You can go back and check my short videos on that. One of my favorite slump busters is commercial airliners with these wild and crazy paint schemes on them, because it's a quick build and it's a slump buster. You get the fuselage, get it together, and the wings, and I mean, it's done. But I like doing that, and a lot of people go, well, is this one of those IPMS or primarily military stuff? Guys, if you ever go to an IPMS show, and I've been a member of IPMS for years, and even an AMPS show, which is armor primarily. Guys, if you don't go examine and talk to some of the guys that build aircraft, armor, and ships, you're cheating yourself. I have learned more about weathering, sooting up gun barrels with exhausts, bare metal, painted metal from armor builders than you can imagine. If you look at some of the exhaust on aircraft, whether it's old prop-driven or jet exhaust, perfect way to do bare metal headers again. I mean, it's just awesome stuff. But I learned more about bending and using photo etch from model ship builders. So when you find one, hey, go talk to whoever did it. Because some of the intricate, when you've got a 700 scale ship with every kind of railing and antenna and radar and all that stuff on it, how in the world do you bend that stuff? Hey, all you gotta do is ask. They'll share it with you. It's just awesome stuff. That's where I learned from shipbuilders, too, in particular, how to deal with photo etch, and do it just right. I mean, it's fun, and it's not really that hard. So don't cheat yourself out of that. But anyway, this was one of those shows that had all of that stuff in it. Now, the way this was set up, now this picture right here was my setup. You had a 30 by 36 inch area, and I had a piece of poster board down underneath it. And you could put as many models of yours as you wanted to in that display area. I saw some guys had 20 packed in there, and it really didn't look that busy after all. If you looked at the video, you saw how a lot of these guys had a lot of stuff, and they had a variety of stuff. They had ships and airplanes and jeeps and race cars, and they had all kinds of stuff in there, and that was fine. Now, I went for one of the things they said you could do was if your space was a theme, then it was up for a special award. And I thought, well, you know what, I'm gonna take a shot at this theme thing. So I came up with some of my old stock cars up to a little more modern, my Fab Shop car, and called it Stock Car Evolution. And I thought, I'll give it a shot. Now, by the way, the guy that won Best Display, wow, dude, it was awesome. It was I think it's about 18-inch, maybe 20-inch Elvis, and the elaborate backdrop that he had made with the lights and all that stuff. And let me tell you, as far as figure painting goes, This Elvis was impressive. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. You can go back and look at it on the video. It was really impressive. Well, that's what won Best Display, and it was well deserved. So, but getting back to the thing, the theme of the show was movies of the 70s, big screen 1970s. So Star Wars, things like that. Anything that was in a movie, Jaws, if it was in a movie in the 1970s, then that was part of the theme thing. And it was pretty impressive. A lot of guys had some great stuff for that too. But as the show went on and I started videotaping, man, there was some impressive work there. And I got to talk to a number of the modelers. As I mentioned to you, there were, I think, about 6 people that I had not seen or met ever before that were subscribers. And we had a good time of fellowship. And I don't know if you noticed in the video, but there were round tables down between the contest area and the, or the model area and the vendors. And those tables had chairs all the way around them, and we got to sit and fellowship with a lot of people. Met some new folks sitting at the table with Amanda and Henry and Shauna, and I tell you, it was just a ton of fun and fellowship. And really, for me, that's what it's about. I've gone to shows and not taken a single model to enter in a contest or anything, just for the shopping and the fellowship, to see old friends. So just really great stuff. But I want to turn the camera around here now, and I want to go ahead and get the scoring sheets, because one of the great things with this was, you know, I mentioned in the opening, or the first video I did on this, that the instructions were 17 pages long. And, you know, some people went, oh, that's a little much, isn't it? That's over-explaining. Not really. And here's why I say that. A lot of these instructions, yeah, some were for the modeler, but man, they expected a lot out of the judges. They were holding those judges to a very high standard. And I like that. Lost my train of thought there, guys. Bear with me here just a second. Let me grab one of the things. Oh, the other thing is, and I'm going to share this with you here in a minute. At the end of the show, you got a packet. Now, this packet contains the 4 judging sheets with their notes and scores written. Now, the thing that made this really unusual for me that I've never encountered before was this. There are 4 judges or evaluators, and this is on a point system, and this is where they were held to a high standard. When they evaluated individual, you know how a lot of times you see the judging groups in a little group, and they are traveling from place to place, and they all have to agree on the thing. This, they individually score. 4 judges. When they turn their sheets in, the points are put in the computer. Well, of the 4 judges, the lowest score is thrown out, and they take the 3 highest scores, and then they average those together and come up with a total points. That's how you know whether you do X number of points was a bronze, X number of points could be a silver, and then a gold. You also, of all of the models in your display, and I put 4 in there, that was the stock car Evolution. Now, of the 4, you had to choose, or if of the 20, whatever you had in your 30 by 36 inch space, you chose 1 model to be evaluated. The rest of your work kind of showed the consistency of the quality of your work, and it enhanced, you know, they could see that, you know, okay, he's consistent in this level of work, something like that. But you choose the 1 model you want evaluated, and you put your material there, and then after you got that in your paperwork, you choose your skill level, and that's what they grade you on, because the point system's different for a basic modeler, an intermediate modeler, and an advanced modeler. So all of that was different. But now junior modelers, anybody below 17 is automatically a junior. Your basic modeler was kind of like if someone was returning to the hobby, had been away for a while, or was new to the hobby. There's your basic modeler. Your intermediate modeler was someone who uses photo etch and has some advanced skills. But in the paperwork, it also says don't overestimate yourself. If you feel like you want to do the intermediate, but you've been building for 50 years or whatever, so what? It's fine. So don't overestimate or underestimate yourself or overestimate yourself. Anyway, and then you had the intermediate, and then you had the advanced modeler, which was someone who is skilled in considerable scratch building, use of photo etch, advanced modeling techniques, that kind of thing. And so you chose the model and you chose the skill level that you were going to be graded on. So if you said advanced, they were going to hold you to that higher standard too. Now, I'm going to set the arm down here so you can see the judging sheet, and then we'll talk about that. Stick around. As I stated a few minutes ago, the standards in the rules for the judges to go by was pretty stringent too. This was one of the judging sheets and the scoring sheets. So you had your entry number, display number, increments by half points, 0.5 only. When you start off, you had your construction. So you had basic construction. Your maximum score was 2.0, so you could either score a 0.5, a 1.0, 1.5, or a 2. And your basic construction, of course, was just how well was the model put together. The alignment, how did parts line up? Was there any gaps or things like that that were not addressed? And you maximum there was a 2.0, so you would have started with a 0.5, 1.0, 1.5, like that. And then, of course, your details, and you had a maximum of 1 point there, and that would have been a total of 5 or whatever, let's say 4.0 or 4.5, whatever. And then the judge's initials here. Then you move over to finish and weathering, your basic finish and decal placement, enhancements, detail painting like, let's say, heat stains. Since I'm a car guy, heat stains on headers, things like that. Then finish consistency. Was it perfect in one area and sloppy in another? Something like that. I mean, was the consistency overall? And this is where I also think the other models in the display could also help them with that, because they could see the consistency of the body of your work around using the other models. And I think that was pretty good. And then, of course, your total perfect score would have been a 4.0. And then the story or composition or the degree of difficulty, and you had a 0.5 or a 1.0. And then you had research, award research bonus. So if you had research laying there with it, yes, well, since I was doing the particular car I was doing, and again, not knowing what I needed to take and didn't need to take, I took my book on the Daytona, because that's the car that I wanted to be evaluated. And so there was, well, lost my train of thought again there, guys. A booklet, I don't think I've got it in here. I don't. But I have a book that's all of my research pictures and articles on that Dodge Daytona, and I had that displayed to the right. And then I had a build book to the left, because I didn't know if I needed that or not. But the pictures I had taken under construction of that vehicle a long time ago that I displayed with it. And you got a half point, 0.5 points for having that with you. And the other thing I really, really liked there were comments down here that the judges wrote. I like this kind of stuff, because if I miss something and someone points it out, well, I know how to correct that. I know what to do. You know, I've met modelers that get upset if you try to correct them or tell them something that was not right or a little off, or you know, this wasn't consistent. Get upset about that stuff. Look, I want to hear it. I've never built a perfect model in my life, and I never will. So any comments, constructive, and that's genuinely, I truly believe this is constructive. not criticism, but it's just constructive notes. And I got some notes in there that were something that I need to go back and take a look at. And it's okay. Anything that'll help me improve, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But I like this. And here's the other thing. At the end, you got the sheets. They didn't try to hide anything from you. And if you wanted to talk to one of these judges, they were available for you to talk to. How about that? I just thought it was really impressive. It was very well put on. Again, the club itself, these guys were awesome. They were enthusiastic. They were friendly. Everything about it was good. And again, this packet that you're given at the end of the show, and you can see I chose the advanced. God, I've been doing it so long. I started to go intermediate, and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. And again, you had your 36 by 30 inch space there with all your stuff, and mine was in automotive. And I'll show you the judging sheets here if I can get them out. There is the overall, I guess the cover sheet for each of the individual things here. But you had the initials of the judges, and you see that fourth judge, the last one there, they struck that, and there's your research bonus, the 0.5. And I really did like this, guys. I really did. And you see down here, great research. Finish is really nice, super build, and I don't build cars. And I appreciate the nice words. And that was the other thing they put in the paperwork was they'll put positive stuff, but they'll also put some things to work on there too. Well done, yet seems to be a spot on the upper area of the rear spoiler or on the wing. And he's right, a little drop of coffee. It looks what it looks like got dropped on the back of the wing, and it's one of those things where I don't know how I didn't clean it up, but it doesn't matter. But I like this, the constructive, the notes. And the same thing here was pointed out as well. Great build, clean, only small blemish. And I knew exactly where he was talking about. And that will be corrected before that car, well, that car probably won't go to but one more show. And that's, I think Charleston has a best of thing, and that'll probably be the last time it ever gets out of the box. But anyway, I really liked this, guys. It was, again, and I'm harping on this club a lot, the club was great, enthusiastic, friendly, just a great bunch of guys. And this is definitely one that will be on my calendar for next year. Next time they do it, I will definitely be there, whether I take anything or not. The vendors were absolutely awesome, and the folks were great, and it's always good to see friends. But I would like to participate again just because it was fun. But guys, hats off again to the Central South Carolina Wildcats. Guys, 2 thumbs up from Hobby Dude. Keep up the great work. So guys, that's my thoughts and feelings about it. Now, I know that not everybody is a fan of every kind of judging, and some of you may get kind of particular about it and may disagree with me, and that's okay. That's okay. But I had a great time. It was picked up some goodies too. In fact, to close out, I want to share with you a couple of models I picked up. So let me grab those real quick. Stick around. Okay, guys, while I was there, I was able to find another one of the super stockers, and I think I've got 3 or 4 of these, mostly for parts and parts of the chassis too, suspension and stuff. So I picked up another one of these, found an unbelievable price on it, so I just had to have another one. So I scooped that up from the vendors. I got a commercial airliner. I think it was a 1/200 scale, and I can't. It just dawned on me it's in my truck. Okay, that's why I don't have it in here. But anyway, I'll share that with you another time. Something else I found, and this was marked down. And if you know the Camaro that I'm working on, or going to be working on, that Lonnie, one of the teams that I actually worked for, I needed the basic body. And this one, let me back this up. You can see what it is. This is Revell 25th scale. I got to get some parts from Lucas C, and this will be going under some heavy modifications too. But primarily got this for the body, but this is another one that I got an unbelievable deal on. So I'm looking forward to this one. And the airplane, it was a 757, and I'll share that with you later. This one was a gift. My buddy Charlie Rice, his display was actually right beside mine, to the left of mine, and what a prolific modeler. Another medal winner there too, and just a great modeler. But this was a raffle prize, and he walked over to me and he said, you know, I know realistically I'm not going to build this thing, so I want you to have it. So this Hasegawa 250 Testarossa, and I'm like, oh man. Now, check this out, guys. Look at those wire wheels. I'm cheating myself there. Check those out. Is that not just cool? And these, let me tell you, these old Testarossas, these things are awesome. Just a mean looking little thing. But Charlie, love you, brother. I appreciate that more than you know. How cool is that? So came away with another awesome set of wheels there too. Oh, forgot to take the raffle ticket off. But yeah, I appreciate that as a gift. And you know, I've done that before too. I got a couple of raffle tickets, and they had some commercial airliners up there, and I thought, well, maybe I get one of those, but they were just handing them out. So, but that's the stash haul from there too. So, guys, again, thanks for sticking around. Leave a comment in the comment section about your thoughts about the show. And like I said, I know not everybody's gonna go, I'm okay with it, or I don't like it, or not sure how it worked. But I think these guys went out of their way to do it right, to be fair, and to make the judges available, and the notes and the scoring stuff available to the modelers. And it didn't matter whether you were bronze, silver, gold. It didn't matter. You got all of your judging sheets. Every modeler did, and that's impressive. That's impressive. So I think the feedback was really good. All right, guys, that's it for this go round. Love you. God loves you. I'll see you in the next video. See you guys.